This month, we're going to focus on the topic of rejection. And that might seem like a strange topic to focus on, but right at the end of the year, I want to arm you for success going into 2024. And being able to become rejection proof is going to be one of the biggest skills you can take into 2024. We're going to build that resilience, that resourcefulness under times of pressure to be able to understand that rejection is just God's redirection, and the rejection is just moving us forward to what we're meant to go on and achieve. So rejection sucks, but it doesn't have to. We label it like it sucks. We label it like it's this thing that's rejecting us personally. When really, when we look at it like we're someone out there in the world, we're doing a lot of things. When you've got a lot of things going, you're bound to get some stuff that doesn't actually take off. And the damage that that can do to you is that you stop taking action, that you stop believing in yourself, that it damages your self-confidence, that you slow down on that activity. That's the damage that not being able to handle rejection can do. And I don't mean handle like I don't get affected by it, or I don't like see it as something that's not going to happen, or I ignore it. What we mean by be able to handle it, and what I specifically mean, is you can understand the emotion of it, but you're not going to let it stop you being you and being the fullest and best expression of yourself. So rejection, it happens all the time. And if you're someone that's out there doing a lot of different things, it's going to happen even more. And what we're going to build to in 2024 is all around being the lion. It's all about pursuing and getting out there and being your best potential, right? So, of course, there's going to be more things that get rejection from. I have had that in my life from experiences like getting rejected from book publishers, right? That's just very common in my line of work. If I write a new manuscript, not all book publishers are going to want to take that manuscript. Not all book publishers will believe in the message, believe in me. Not all book publishers will believe in the mission and what we're doing. So it's very important. And rejection can help you find your people. That's what I've learned. Rejection can actually redirect you to help you find those people that do believe in your mission, that do see the value that you offer, and that want to run with you on that journey. And when you get that, you look back and you're like, hey, hang on. If that deal that was going to happen, or that person that I was so desperate to do a deal with, or to think that door would have opened, that would have been terrible, because it would have stopped me getting all of this. It would have stopped me building all of this. And ultimately, it would have stopped me contributing in that way. And rejection in book deals is one thing. And maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. Podcasts, right? I have a podcast. I get very exciting guests to come on, and we sit down and we have brilliant conversations, and we go through their strategies for success. They're courageous individuals doing inspirational things around the world. And we sit down and I get to facilitate those conversations and draw those insights out of those people. Some of my favourite people in the whole world. And it's amazing. But every now and again, there'll be an occasion where someone I'm really looking forward to actually doesn't show up on the podcast. And that can feel like a massive rejection, right? Because what have I done? I've invested my time. I've researched them. I've done hours and if not days of research and planning for this episode to be able to go to very deep, to ask the right questions, to facilitate that journey for you guys to get that audio to listen to watch on YouTube, to actually get to the heart of what we want to discuss. So I've put a lot of effort and time into researching them. So when you sit down, and maybe you can relate to this, when you sit down and you're on a call and you're there over Zoom and you've set it up and you're going to go interview this person, and then they don't show up, or they reject you 5 minutes before and they send that, it feels crazy bad, right? Because you're like, I just stacked like 15 hours of work into this and I'm good to go. I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. So it feels like a punch in the face, because you feel like, well, hey, they're not excited. They didn't do any prep and they don't value what we've got going on here. But that's not it. That's not it. That's just the story you tell them. That's just the story you tell yourself. The thing you need to remember in all of this is, yes, when you're doing a lot of things, you've got a lot of plates spinning. Some things aren't going to work. And even when people have the best intentions to show up and do things, they forget. Life happens. Travel happens. Problems occur that just come out of the blue, out of their control. And of course, some people just are that way in nature and they're just a bit flaky. So don't put the story on it being a decrease in the value that you're offering, or like a rejection of you and your talent, or you and your gifts, or you and your mission. That's not what it is. It's the fact that life happens, and sometimes when you're doing a lot of things, some stuff's going to slip through the cracks. And so you can look at it like an opportunity. Well, actually, I got to know their business a lot more. I got to know who they are as an individual. And I'm going to be resourceful, and I'm going to try and reschedule this. We're going to try and get it in the diary. We're going to get this going again. We're not going to let the momentum go. We're going to get after them, and we're going to put another time in the diary. And that's the intention. And you have to recognize that their intention may well have been to show up on your show. They're not directly rejecting you. Yes, in some cases they are. Cool. In that case, cool. Wasn't meant to be. Not my people. Move on. On to the next one. Do not let it slow you down. Do not take time to think, right, okay, this must mean I'm not doing anything good. I'm not producing anything good. It's going to affect my self-worth and start damaging my confidence, and maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right? That's where we all go wrong. That's where we go off track, and we start to let the little things that in life, when we're doing a lot of things, stop us, right? Because then we slow down. And so that's where you lose. That's a lose strategy, and that's a victim strategy, and that's a playing to lose strategy. So just watch that. And maybe there's something else. Maybe it's not a podcast guest, but maybe it's an interview with a job, right? And you get on the call and you're like, right, I've got this job. I'm getting on with a recruiter for my first call. I've got this job. I've got the skills. I've got the CV. I've got the experience. I should be able to get this job. You get on the call and you're like, well, actually, not feeling the vibes here. The recruiter's not really trying to sell this job into me. The questions, they're a bit curly. They're a bit pointed. There's not really that enthusiasm or buy-in. They're not really helping me see what this job could be. And you do the interview and you're like, okay, well, it went okay. I've got the skills. I've got the experience for this. Then you realise, actually, the job's been out for a while. They've got a few candidates in the line who are already on third, fourth round interviews. They're very close to the end. You were just a placeholder, right? You were just a backup plan in case one of those fell through. And so 2 weeks later, you get an email that says, sorry, you weren't right fit for this job. Like, this isn't anything personal, great skills, but, you weren't right fit. We've got better candidates, boom, boom, boom. You could read that email and go, oh, damn, like, my experience, I didn't get that job. I've just been rejected. I should have got that job. What's going on? Like, this is crazy. I should have got that job. That's easy. That's what I do. That's my career. Like, I've been building to this. And you could attach a whole story to that outcome of rejection, going, well, actually questioning like what you're doing and like, oh man, I got turned away at the first interview. That must be bad. Or you could realize that, again, there's so much out there in the context of these situations that are influencing the outcomes that aren't around you. No one's bothered. It's not about you. Yes, it was a rejection in the sense that they sent that email and said, sorry, we've gone with someone else. But that was already set up, right? They're already in third or fourth round interviews with those candidates. Of course, those candidates are going to be strong. Of course, they like them. They've already gone through the process. And this recruiter's motivation is to place one of those because they're already there. Their job is to get people in the job. It's not to bring some candidate left of field who just applied and the process has been going for 2 months and bring that candidate forward and then disrupt everything. It doesn't work. Yet you still mentally go, I got rejected. You didn't get rejected. It was just the setup of the situation. In a different scenario, you'd be first applicant in, boom, you'd be one of those 2 or 3 candidates going through to the third and fourth round, and you'd be getting that job. But it's just a perspective you have on it. And in that situation, you'd be like, yeah, of course I got the job. Like, I have the skills, right? And you tell yourself a different story. So just be careful of the stories you're telling yourselves around what rejection is when you're getting rejected, and just don't stop. Act as if it's already happened. Go out in life, know that rejections are going to come. Know that they're part of someone who has a big, full-on creative life where you're going out and creating what you want. Know that that's the case, and then go out there and shine and realize that you don't have to let that be the outcome. You can build a relationship out of a rejection in terms of your network. You can end it with grace. So you can reply back with grace. You can say, look, really great to have made the connection. Would love to keep in touch. Like, let's go for coffee. Let's do all these extra bits. Or it's just, I'd love to have you on the show next week. Shall we reschedule this? You've got to keep persisting. You've got to keep the drive going through the bumpy patch and not let it damage you taking action in all these other areas, and keep those plates spinning. So that's why we're going to focus on rejection for the next 31 days of December. That's why we're going to do this every day. We're going to go out and we're going to seek rejection. Why? Because that's how exposure therapy works. Exposure to rejection decreases our arousal and our anxiety and our feelings of shame around it. Decreases. So then when it happens to you in real life, because you're going out and creating this big life and you're pushing the boundaries into the unknown, and you're doing things that are a bit unsure of, and you're like, can I do this? Can I not do this? I might get rejected, but you do it anyway, and then you get rejected. You're all good because you just did 31 days of rejection. You push, this is nothing. So some of the things I'm going to show you and we're going to go through, and I'm going to do it too. I'm going to be with you doing it too, right? Every day, going out, getting rejection, and there's going to be a specific task and challenge that we have to achieve in that day. And then I want you to post your video, your thoughts of you doing it online. Tag me in those videos. It'd be so cool to do this together. The community will be there. We'll be going through this together. We'll be building our rejection, therapy and exposure to that. And we'll be getting stronger as a result, and we'll be able to act and be resourceful no matter what's thrown at us. And so we kick it off tomorrow with day 1, and this is going to be so much fun. And I can't wait for you to join and see what we get up to. So let's go.